All right, let's talk about Jeff VanderMeulen Bladeworks, double homicide. I am torn doing this video a little bit. I'm going to kind of shoot from the hip. It's not a full-on review. I have a few specs that I did measure this out because this one here belongs to a good friend of mine, Eric, Blades and Bullets on Instagram. He got this at the gathering in 2022, I believe. And it is 2024 right now when I'm filming. He gave it to me when I was in Utah for Blade Show West this year and asked me to sell it for him. And I'm torn because one, I really like it a lot. And two, because Eric is usually the guy you send knives to for him to sell. So for him to trust me with this and to ask me to help him move it is just an honor to me. Okay? That is what it is. The action on this is fan-freaking-tastic. Like, it's drop shut in a nice controlled way, not like a Holt Spectre. But it's just, God, this thing is just so great. So it is for sale. I'm going to put a price down in the description in case it gets sold before the video airs or in case I do something silly. Okay? This is the double homicide that I own myself. Mine is a frame lock where this one is a liner lock. It is thicker for sure. But even with the size of this, and we're going to talk about some of the dimensions, this really does wear well in your pocket. I know that's a shock, but it really does. The action on it is way better than mine. Mine's even a little bit more uncomfortable on the deployment. This one is just more comfortable. Oops. Has a better sound. Like, this one is just overall better. So I'm torn. Do I try to sell mine for cheaper than this one and then buy this from Eric? Or do I just, do I be an adult? If you follow me on Instagram, hashtag adulting by Dirk. I post some stuff there sometimes that way. And maybe I just say, look, I don't even want it. I'm not even going to try to justify it mentally and do, creative accounting to buy it. I don't know. That's why I'm torn on this thing. Jeff VanderMeulen is a great guy. I've talked with him several times. We've chatted back and forth. He's built some knives for me. I have a 6-inch instigator. I have that double homicide here. He did build this Homosaurus. So if you think this guy's big, this is bigger. There's only 4 of the Homosauruses. And I was able to get one from the original purchaser. Okay. So for some reference here, because you don't know unless you see, these are big knives. So this double homicide here is 6 1/8 closed and 10 5/8 overall with a 4.6 inch blade. Overall thickness, I wrote down, but I didn't actually measure it. I meant to measure that. Let's get my caliper out real quick and just measure it here with you guys. Is 0.765, 766, 767. So just over 3/4 of an inch in thickness. And like I said, weighs in at 14 ounces. This guy is also a liner lock. My 6-inch instigator is a liner lock. Again, that's why I'm a little tempted to make the trade-ish to go with this guy to be a liner lock. I don't know. More to come on that. I kind of like who I bought this from. It used to belong to John Paul, 50 Shades of Slash on Instagram. And for me, And like I said at the beginning of the video, this one's a little bit different. This is a little off the cuff, and it's more of a Dirkscussion than a review, okay? And if that's, let me know your thoughts down below. If you've made it this far, let me know. Do you want more of the free-flowing Dirkscussions, or more, hey, here's the review, here's all the specs, here's all of this, here's all that? I'm open. I'm just, still kind of playing with stuff. It's only been 5 years on YouTube almost, so what do I know? Still playing with stuff. For me, I like to know who owned the knife before me, if it's something I got on the secondary market. So for me, it would be special to own this one because Eric owned it. And I know that's silly, but I love owning this because Jim Skelton used to own it. And then my other friend, Rob, used to own it. So there's memories built into this because of those gentlemen previous. Maybe that's silly. I don't know. But it's just me being open with you guys. So a lot of the things that I collect knife-wise are not so much because I love the item. I mean, I always like the item or I wouldn't buy it. But a lot of times it's more for the sentimental value that only belongs to me. I own some other knives from Jim Skelton. One that he built for me, a fixed blade. I own Big Red, the bodega that he had from Todd Begg. I think there's another one. I'm drawing a blank as to which one it is. But the Dragon Lady bodega from also Todd Begg. I think he owned that one as well. So I like the kind of history of the things that I collect. And when they're owned by other people that I have looked up to, that I've respected over years, things like that, to me, it just means more. Not to say that this is any less meaningful because, again, JP owned it. So, yeah, again, another, I'm not going to say famous person, but a respected person in our community, if you will. Well-known member of our community. So for me, it just means a lot to own things from those types of people. I don't know. What do you want? JP also used to own the Homisauras. So, yeah. All right. So you got the specs on this. This is Mokuti carbon fiber. I don't know what the blade steel is. There is a Hamon in here. I know that mine is W2 with the Hamon. Yeah, you might see two prices down below. I might put them both down in the description. And if mine sells first at a cheaper price, then I maybe do something silly and upgrade to this one. I don't know yet. Check the description, okay? I know these are not for everybody. These are more of a conversation piece. I'll be honest, I didn't carry this very often. I just didn't. Partially because the action and just the way the flipper tab is a little uncomfortable in my finger. This is not, and I might carry this more often. 14 ounces doesn't scare me. I've been carrying the King Battle for 300 and something days now. And it's like 12 ounces, I think, something like that. Doesn't bother me at all. This works in the pocket for me, no problem. And it's got the cool factor. And for me, in my collection, it's the cool factor. Like the Alchem from Pokilo Blade. Not practical in the slightest. Has a great sound. And it's got a trick up its sleeve. But the cool factor is like on a 1 to 10 cool factor, it's a 12. And I am all about the cool factor because really deep down, it's my 12-year-old self with an adult paycheck. That sums up my collecting right there. Let me know your thoughts if you're interested in either of these. hit me up, let me know, and maybe we can do something. Thanks, guys.